All right, this time I'm not going to play the Price is Right music because, quite frankly, I don't feel like it. That thing is a whole thing. I have to one take that. You have no idea how many times I repeat that same thing trying to get the right take to go along with the length of the music. But it's that time again, time where we talk about who could be possibly the next Detroit Lion. Now, before I go any further, I want to put it out here that I think the odds of Davante Adams becoming a Detroit Lion is really, really rare. I think it's extremely rare. I think for a lot of reasons it might not work, but on the off chance that it happens, I'm here to talk about it. And I'm here to tell you why I think, contrary to what some of you think, because I already know what's going to happen in the comment section. He's washed. He's a diva. All of these things, which I think are Lions fans trying to talk themselves down from excitement. Because if Davante Adams was indeed to become a Detroit Lion, there is zero people who watch this channel that would complain. And if you would complain, you're lying to yourself. Even I would not complain because I feel like that Davante Adams could be a guy that could fit in with the Detroit Lions and we still get a pass rush. Now, before we go any further, let's take a look at what just happened just a few hours ago. It says the Jets will save in releasing Davante Adams $29.9 million in salary cap space. He had no guarantee money on his remaining contract. Now, everyone, absolutely everyone saw this coming. As a matter of fact, if Davante Adams was still a Las Vegas Raider, they would have to have a conversation. I can't even get the words out. They would have to have a conversation because he was due an exorbitant amount of money in 2025. Everyone saw this coming. Nobody was going to trade. As a matter of fact, it's kind of funny because Aaron Glenn had something to do with this. He got released before Aaron Rodgers got released, and now Aaron Rodgers is probably next in line. But it's kind of funny how Aaron Glenn is cleaning house, man. He's doing his thing. Now, I know what a lot of Lions fans are going to say. Here we go again. Everybody who gets cut from any other team is going to be a Detroit Lion. But let's think about this real quick. And I want you to ask yourself this question. Be unbiased. I want you to not be biased in this situation and take the biasness out of it. Brad Holmes is always trying to, quote, make the Detroit Lions better. Ask yourself this question. Would Davante Adams in Detroit make the Lions better? The answer is absolutely yes. Now, why would, you know what? I just had some coffee. I think that's what it is. My heart is beating super fast. Why would we do this? Let's sit back. Well, the Lions, because I know what you guys are going to say. We don't need Davante Adams. That would be a false statement. We could draft a wide receiver. That would be a true statement. We could get someone else in free agency. That's also a true statement. But Davante Adams right now is better than a lot of the free agent wide receivers that will be available. Let's not get it twisted, and we'll go over stats in a minute. Let's not pretend that A, Davante Adams is washed, and B, like he wouldn't make the team better. I love how when Lions fans, when he's not on their team, they will defend the most raggedy player when it comes to their team, but when it's another player on another team, he's washed, he's no good, just complete bias. I guess that's part of being a fan. But Davante Adams, let's not pretend, all right? He would make this team better. And he is a big body wide receiver that the Lions need because there are only 3 wide receivers under contract. 4 if you include Antoine Green, who may or may not be on this team come 2025. I personally don't believe he'll be on the team. He should have never made it in the first place. He was hurt, didn't play. I think he made the team because he was hurt. So let's look at the roster. We have 3 wide receivers under contract. We signed Ronnie Bell to a future reserve deal. We have Khalif Raymond, who they're talking about potentially cutting. You hear rumors. We have Jamison Williams, and we have Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now, another argument you're going to have is we can't get all these people the ball. Who cares? Like, seriously, who cares that we can't spread the ball around? If Jared Goff needs another weapon, give him another weapon. It's only one ball. We cannot throw it to everybody. Amon-Ra St. Brown will get his. Jamison Williams will get his. Davante Adams will be the third option. Okay, so I understand that Davante is the biggest hurdle in this whole thing. Is, oh, he wants the ball, he's a diva, all of this other stuff. You know what I think is funny is when we made Davante Adams videos in the 2023 season as the trade deadline approached, Everybody had something to say, but those videos did fantastic. Why? Because you actually wanted them. You know that your mind is saying one thing, but you're also saying the same. You're saying something totally different. You're saying, I don't really want to get my hopes up because of all these negative things that we're going to talk about. But you know what? He wouldn't be bad. We talked about Mike Evans. It was the same way in 2023. At the trade deadline, huge successes because even though these wide receivers were old, they still are dogs. Davante Adams would make this team better. Now, you might also use the diva argument. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a diva. Do not get it twisted. He's just a little quiet with it. There's no doubt about it. St. Brown is a diva. And I assure you that St. Brown, Jameson Williams, there's nobody on the Detroit Lions that would complain if Davante Adams was on their team. We're the only ones complaining. Now, let's look at what the people that's going to say that Davante Adams are washed, because I think this is all bias talking. Just turned 32 years old, will be 32 for the entire remainder of the season. 85 receptions for 1,063 yards, 8 touchdowns. He still averaged across two different teams, 12.5 yards per catch. Let's look at his stats. We know when he was drafted, second round in 2014. Man, that was a long time ago. Spent the bulk of his career in 2020 with the Green Bay Packers. I can't believe it was 2.5 years with the Las Vegas Raiders, and then 11 games with the New York Jets. What a colossal failure that whole thing was. And I'm going to tell you something after this that I want to get your opinion about. So he played a total of 14 games. I don't know why he missed those 3 games. I don't know if one was due to injury or something like that. Now, as far as his contract, that's already locked. I can't even see what he was due this year. Spot Track locked it up immediately. They do not play around. I mean, it came out and within an hour, that information was behind a paywall. So I can't really tell you. I don't know off the top of my head what he was going to make, but I believe it was upwards of $30 million. It was something insane like that. Now let's talk about why it wouldn't work. You have Davante Adams. I think he would be the key feature. I don't think that the Detroit Lions would not want him on the team. I think that Davante Adams, there are a few things that kind of give me a little pause. So one of them is his exit from Green Bay, his exit from Las Vegas. Those two things are something that, while Davante was not very noisy about it, I mean, he kind of was. The LA one, he was it was a lot of talk, but I understand the frustration. That's one thing you really never saw from Calvin Johnson. I feel like you might catch Amon-Ra St. Brown on a bad day, and he expressed himself very similar to Davante Adams. I am certain Jameson Williams will probably vent his frustration as well. So that is a little bit of pause with that and how much money he would want. Now, there's a couple things when it comes to money. Let's take the fact that, he's going to cost too much money. Let me ask you this. Put in the comment section below. Do you think Davante Adams right now is a better wide receiver than DJ Chark? Okay. Do you think back in 2022, Davante Adams was a better wide receiver than DJ Chark? If your answer is no, okay. If your answer is yes, keep in mind, we paid DJ Chark $10.5 million, all guaranteed, coming off a 4-game, a shortened season due to say it with me now, season-ending injury. He was on our books until last year. DJ Chark has not taken a snap for the Detroit Lions in 2 full seasons, and he was on the books until this year. He finally off the books. He had 2 voided years. 2023 and 2024 were both voided. Now, if you told me that you couldn't pay Davante Adams $10.5 million guaranteed, but you could pay DJ Chark, or that Brad Holmes could do that, that's just dumb to me. That sounds ridiculous. I would even say that I would go up a little bit more. I would say maybe the low teens for a 1-year deal. But I know what you guys are going to say in the comment section. I'm glad he's not the general manager. So am I. I enjoy being the basement GM running Lions Syndicate. That's 100% fact. So, Davante Adams. Now picture this. As we complain and we talk about how washed he is, and we talk about how we don't need him, and we talk about he's a diva, and we look at our cupboard just bare with wide receivers. I'm not saying that Tim Patrick is not worth bringing back. I'm saying that first, we don't know if he's going to come back. And if Davante Adams is available, even at 32 years old, you got to at least interest be piqued, right? That's just bottom line. Still want, if Mike Evans was, and Mike Evans and Davante got the same type of yapping. They do. You hear Mike Evans just as much as you hear Davante. All right. So I'm not saying I'm opposed to Tim Patrick coming back. What I'm saying is right now, Tim Patrick is not on his team. Davante Adams is available. Do you think that Davante Adams is a better wide receiver than Tim Patrick? Davante Adams, I'm telling you, 5-6 years ago, he was the one guy I wanted on the team. I would have gave anything for Davante Adams. Route running is impeccable. And then I'm thinking, too, what you could teach J-Mo, what he could teach J-Mo. All right? Now, let me paint this picture for you. As we complain and we talk about culture and we talk about grit and we talk about building through the draft and all this other stuff, and we look at the fact that we only have 3 wide receivers under contract, and one of them is Khalif Raymond. No disrespect to Khalif Raymond, but we have 3 wide receivers on our contract. You know who's looking to get better and who will make a move like this? The Buffalo Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Baltimore Ravens. Those teams would make a move for, who knows, maybe even Philly. I don't know how he would fit over there, but Howie Roseman. He's done more, right? He's done less. So as we talk about, and there's another team too, I forgot. I've got Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore. People are trying to make moves. And Davante Adams is worth making a move for. So I'm not saying that he's going to be a Detroit Lion. I'm not saying that Brad should do this or he's a fool. What I'm saying is Davante Adams would make this team better. Brad Holmes is trying to make the team better. And I'm looking at it like this too. Like I said, we gave DJ Chark $10.5 million guaranteed. Davante Adams is worth every penny of what DJ Chark made. And DJ Chark did not play a full season for us. As a matter of fact, he didn't even play 14 games for the Detroit Lions, and he made $10.5 million. What I'm saying is that if you look at what the team needs, we need a wide receiver. We wouldn't have to spend any draft capital on a wide receiver for at least 1 year. We could use that draft capital elsewhere. Now, let me just be very clear. I believe that the Detroit Lions, the only reason I'm entertaining Davante Adams was 2 reasons. 1, he's that good. And 2, I still think that if you brought Davante Adams in for the right deal, okay, 1 year, because that's no commitment from the Detroit Lions, no commitment from Davante. So we don't have to worry about him wanting to leave and all this other stuff. He won't be locked in. You could still get a valued pass rusher because let's be clear. I know the likelihood of Myles Garrett, but I understand you could also potentially get a Khalil Mack if Joey Bosa gets cut, Azeez Ojulari. So the Josh Sweat, there'll be some guys available. You could make 2 of these moves. So you could get one of those guys I just mentioned. You could still draft a defensive lineman with the 28th pick, whoever's there, BPA, however you want to do it, and still get a guy like Davante Adams in free agency for a relatively cheap deal. Like I said, to me, I think the highest I would go for Davante Adams on a 1-year deal is the mid-teens. If you look at DJ Chark, what he got paid 3 years ago, and he didn't deserve all of that. You got Davante Adams, increased salary cap. I got to say I'd be willing to go up to $15 million. That's just me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And try to not be biased, y'all, because I know a lot of bias. I'm a Detroit Lions fan just like you, but I think what allows me to do what I do, other than you, is the fact that I take bias out of it a lot of times. Davante Adams would make this team better. And 2 years ago, we would have been beaten down the door. And this dude still put up his last, check this out. His last, 1, 2, 3, 4, his last 5 seasons, he has had over 1,000 yards. His last 5 seasons. You can't say no to that. There's no argument that you can make, really, for Davante Adams. The only thing that you're going to say is the diva mentality. That's it. Trust me, St. Brown is 100% a diva. Do not let him fool you. He is 100%. You just like him. That's it. That's the only difference. If you swap places and put Davante Adams in St. Brown's place, you'd be saying the same thing about him. St. Brown is 100% a diva. And I say that in the respectful way. We all know. All right. So don't let the whole diva mentality. What you trying to do? Realize we are going into free agency with Khalif Raymond, St. Brown, and Jamison Williams. We still went 15-2. Imagine. We don't know, and I'm taking Tim Patrick out the equation. Tim Patrick is the Brad Holmes quintessential guy. Cheap. He came through last year, but I mean, come on, y'all. Davante Adams, that's something you might not be able to pass up. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Members, if you don't see your name on the list, let me know. I haven't tried to add them so far today, but I'll do that right after this video. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.